Damian Hatton. Everyone at work has that one piece of equipment that helps their job, and if you didn't have it, it'd make the job way more difficult. For law enforcement officers, that's our duty belt. And I'm sure most of you, like me when I got into this profession, is like, what's a duty belt? Duty belt is the work belt and the lifeline of all law enforcement officers, at least in America. It's normally made out of nylon or leather with a Velcro strip on the inside. It's supposed to be worn with an underbelt that also has Velcro, so it can stay on the waist of the officer. On the duty belt, it depends on the department and the employer exactly what the officers will wear. Like for me at work, I'll have my radio, my handcuff case, my 9mm pouch, my OC case, and my firearm holster. As Kat said in an article on policeone.com, everyone's duty belt is up to their own preference, and I'll show you how I do mine. So first, we have my handcuff case. I have it on my left hand side because I'm right hand dominant. So if I were to ever detain somebody, I have my right hand on the subject and I can get to the left hand on my handcuffs. There's two major variations of a handcuff, the hinge cuff and the chain cuff. I use the chain cuff, just has a couple chain links in between it. It's up to officers' preference on what they want to use. I know some officers that will use both because both of them have different benefits. So when you preload your duty belt for your handcuffs, the actual handcuff will have a double bar side and a single bar side. The single bar top side will have the little teeth that will ratchet down. So when you preload it, you ratchet it all the way down to the last one, so that when you have to detain somebody and you use the single cuff side, when it swivels, it has less resistance, cause less injury to the subject. When you actually load them and you get them ratcheted down to the last link, you'll put it so the single cuff side is facing forward. The reason why is so when you pull it, the downside is the single cuff side. Because if you hit or if you try to detain somebody with the double cuff side, you have the possibility of bruising them or breaking their wrist. Moving forward to my midline, my 9mm pouches. I carry 3 magazines on me when I'm on duty. One of them's in the weapon system, and the other 2 are in my 9mm pouch. Each magazine holds 17 rounds, 9mm in caliber, and we carry hollow points. And then to preload the magazines, for the belly of the magazine in the front where the little lip is, you have that facing your midline. The reason why is so if I'm in worst case scenario, if I have to reload, I don't have to look down. I could just pull it and index. That's what it's called when you have your index finger on the belly of the magazine. So when you index, you slide it into the magazine well, let the slide go forward, and your weapon's good to go. Moving further to my right, this is my OC case. Holding my OC, it stands for Oricium capsicum. As written in the National Justice Institute's paper in 1994, OC is a naturally occurring substance. In layman's terms, it's crushed up peppers put into oil or water and used as a spray mechanism. There's 3 major forms of how OC can be used as a non-lethal option for officers. You have the the stream, which comes out in a very liquefied form. You have the foam, which is what this one is. It comes out as a foamy substance. And then the fogger, which is more used for riot control. Then to preload the OC, there's a trigger guard on the top of the button. You have it so that the rear of the trigger guard is facing whatever your dominant hand is. So for me, I'm right-handed, so my trigger guard is facing my midline and the nozzle's facing the midline. So if I were to pull it, once again, I don't have to look down. I can keep my eyes on whatever I'm dealing with and be able to deploy my OC. Next is my firearms holster. Since I'm, once again, right-hand dominant, my firearms holster, I always keep it over my right pocket. So every time that I draw, it's at the same place every time, and I don't have to look at it. That's the main point of the duty belt, is to have all of our equipment that we might need for a shift on us without it being in our pocket. So we have our hands free, but can still go to work and do what we got to do. So my specific holster, it's a level 3 retention. What a level 3 retention means is that I need to press 2 buttons in sequence to be able to actually draw my weapon. One where the thumb is, the other where the index finger is, and then pull. So 1 level, 2 level, and the actual pulling is my 3rd level of retention. In conclusion, the duty belt is the lifeline of all law enforcement officers. Knowing where my tools are and how to use them, and knowing that they're properly prepped, has gotten my coworkers and me home safely, and also has allowed me to maintain safety with subjects and victims when calls are happening. So I told you what the duty belt is, what gear is on the duty belt, and then I also explained how mine's prepped and the placement of my duty belt. Thank you for your time. One more pen.